Hey, thanks everyone for coming and checking out capio.systems and sticking with our video tutorial. This is the fourth video in our series. Today we're going to be moving on to the questions tab. To recap what we've done so far, we made a few courses here. Psychology, 3 periods, period 1, period 2, period 3. In the next video, we created some students and added those students to the courses. We can see the quantity of students in each class here, 20, 22, and 6. So now that we have our students and our courses taken care of, we want to start making some exams for these courses. And so the next step is to go to the questions tab. In the questions tab, we have 6 views designated by these buttons here. This is the list view. This is the introductory passage view. This is the image view, where we can upload an image from our cell phone or from our computer. This is the question view, where we can make questions or question groups. This is the search view, where we can associate our question or question group with hashtags so that we can search for our questions. I'm going to show you that in this video. It'll make more sense later. And in the final view here, this is where we can preview our question or question group and save it. So I've made, I don't know anything about psychology. I kind of got roped into doing psychology just because I wanted to make sure that your course descriptions were nice and compact, and psychology is a long word, so I just wanted to show you how you ought to abbreviate in order to keep everything compact so that you can use the application with a cell phone. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and stick with it. I went to Wikipedia and got some information from this Wikipedia URL and created 4 questions that apply generally to psychology. So I'm just going to be cutting and pasting this and hopefully speed things up rather than typing them in manually. So let's get started with making some questions. So you go to the questions tab, you click on the we're not going to be using the introductory passage or figure, exhibit, image in this video. I'll make a separate video where I'll go over this functionality. So we're just going to skip over to this tab here and make our first multiple choice question. So just bear with me while I cut and paste these in here. This is a true or false question. So we just want to type in true or false and give it the correct answer. Next, we're going to go to the search criteria. As far as you can choose a color to associate with your questions, it would be nice if we can keep the color the same as the course. But I'm not going to do that. I'll explain that real quickly here. You know, we have 3 courses and they're all the same subject matter. So these are all Psych 101 courses. So I don't want to choose a color that makes you think that the question is only associated with the blue class or the red class or the green class. These questions that we're creating can be used for any of these classes. So let's go ahead and just let's pick a different color. So I'm going to go ahead and choose black for these questions. The hashtags are really important. So you know, once you start putting in a lot of questions to the system, you're going to want to be able to bring the questions for the particular exam that you're making up to the top of the list. And the way you do that, let's go back to the list view here. You're going to type in the information here. So you could type in, you know, Psych 101, psychology, or maybe a term that is specific to the type of question that you're looking for. And then the list of all your questions, that information is going to come to the top so that you can add those questions to the particular exam that you're making. I know this is kind of confusing right now because you're going to see this happen in the future when we make the exams. But we need to go over you know, the philosophy here of adding hashtags. So I picked out some hashtags for this particular question. I'll show them to you here. Note that you don't actually have to type in the hash symbol here. It'll automatically add that for you. But anyway, so this is, I added a hashtag for Psych 101. The subject matter tag psychology is just kind of a general tag. And then this question was asking about specific type of phenomena that psychologists study. So I thought I would add that in as a tag. So you type in your tags, you hit enter, and they show up here. Note that they automatically add the hash symbol in front of it for you. If you made a mistake, you can just hit the X and it'll delete it, and then you come up here and type it in again and put it back. The search access, this actually hasn't been implemented yet. You can designate your question as public or private. In the future, public questions are going to be searchable from a public search engine. So you might want to, if you want to make it private, you can change that. But this isn't actually being used yet. It's something that we're going to implement in the future. So we can go now to the next, and this is the final step in creating your question. This is a preview of how the question is going to look in the list view. This is a condensed version of the question. The one here designates that there's only one question in the question group. Let me show you how that works here. You can actually group questions together. So I can come here and add another question. We can add multiple questions and make a question group. We're not going to do that. We're just going to make a single question so that we can have unique hashtags for each question. If you make a question group, then you're limited to all the hashtags being associated with that group. So there's pluses and minuses to using a group. A group is more convenient to organize in list view because you're going to have less of these cards to deal with. So you can click on it and you can get a toolbar that operates. These buttons in the toolbar operate on this particular question. You can then expand it, take a look at the question, make sure the correct answer is shown here in bold. Make sure that it's correct. If it looks good, you can hit the save button. So let's go ahead and save it. When we save it, it automatically takes us back to list view and we see our question here. So let's go ahead and make the next question. It's a multiple choice. That's wrong. I'm going to select the correct answer. I spelled it wrong. H in there. Go to the search criteria. Go to the last view, take a look at the question. Looks good, save it. So it takes us back to the list view, and now we see our two questions here. Looking in the condensed view, you would use, so you can see why the hashtag, the unique hashtag, to differentiate the two questions. If that doesn't alert you to which question you're trying to find, you can expand these and look at the actual question. You can also lock them so that they don't go back down. But let's go ahead. We got two more questions to create. Let's do another one here. The correct answer is this one. These are hashtags. This is the unique one here, mental processes, add tags. Go to the preview and save view. Take a look at the question, looks good, save it. And it takes us back to the list view, and here's our question that we just added. Okay, we got one more to do. I'm going to go ahead and do it here real quick. Looks good. Go ahead and save it. Okay, so we created 4 questions in list view. We see all our questions here. If we want to look at the questions, we can expand them. Close them down. I'm going to show you how this, let's actually make them nice and condensed for this next demonstration. I'm going to show you how this search box works. So imagine you have hundreds of questions here. You're obviously not going to be able to see the bottom one, and it's going to be confusing to go through all of them. But you may know for a fact that you want to select questions for a particular exam, and you're looking for the classification question. So if I type in here classification and I hit enter, it pulls the classification one to the top. And then you're not limited to search by just one. Let's say we type in etymology and phenomena and hit enter. Notice the etymology and phenomena ones are at the top. So it's pretty useful. You know, you can imagine you might have multiple courses in here. We don't have that right now, but since we have Psychology 101, we might have Psychology 102, Psychology 103, and those questions might be all over the place. You know, you would just come in here and type in your Psychology 101 course, excuse me, and all those courses would come to the top so that you could add the courses to an exam. So the search functionality is pretty useful, and I think we're going to stop there. In the next video, we'll go ahead and go to the exams tab. We'll create an exam for one of our courses, and we'll add these questions to the exam. So anyways, thanks for coming and checking out our videos. I appreciate it, and I'll see you at the next one.